What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Dying Light. My name is Splattercat and I'm happy to have you here today as we check out Dying Light further. Today we're focusing on clearing out the bus stop with the express intent of getting ourselves a firearm. There's a lot of police vans and stuff over here, and I've actually had pretty remarkable luck getting it taken care of. So first things first, we need to loot up all these bodies because I failed to do that in between episodes. I figured people would want to see it just so they had some general idea of where all these items came from. And so as I grab these things, a zombie has decided to prove me wrong. She's like, "You didn't get me, huh?" She's very, very proud of her hiding skills. I don't know. I let her have what she has. You can't burst somebody's bubble like that all the time. First and foremost, people's bubbles are precious. If you got a bubble, you got to hold on to it for as long as possible before finally it's just like, book, and it goes away. So for right now, I'm just trying to keep her in good spirits. However, let's grab that right there, some duct tape. I am down with the duct tape, but now we've got clearance to do this right here. And this was one of the big objectives that we wanted to clear out. These police vans almost always have amazing stuff. And did I just insta-pick a hard lock? Cool. Awesome. A classic baseball bat in a pit fighter mod. That seems pretty badass. Let's have a look here. So because there are no like levels in this game, and there's no way, you don't have to level up. Well, you kind of do. You have to level up to... So I should reappraise that. I should reappraise the way that I was going to say that. So there are level ups, but items don't have like a recommended level except for when you get them from the store. And so honestly, sometimes you can end up with weapons that seem like they're going to be really, really good, and then at the end of the day, they're actually not. They're just like a superior color to throw you off their trail. However, in the case of both the plane hammer and the baseball bat here actually has pretty considerable durability. It's a two-handed weapon, so the animation will change when using a two-handed weapon. So I think it'll more than likely replace our military cheval once I finish killing zombies. Let's see here, once I finish breaking my master-crafted weapon of the military. They used to have those anyways. I was talking about that in the previous episode, how there used to be surplus stores everywhere, and nowadays, you just don't see them anymore. I mean, there's none in my town that I live in right now. I know that for sure because it was a big deal when I went down to Arizona and Nevada. We found a surplus place. We were just kind of like going through all the fun stuff that they had in there. They had like a barrel full of deactivated grenades. I'm not even joking you right now. This is a serious, like they were grenades that they had filled with cement or something like that because they were really, really hefty. Like they didn't feel, I don't know. They were kind of like the little, they weren't like the round ones that they use in modernity, so they're not the ones that like the modern military would use. This was back in like the 90s when I was a kid. They were the old pineapple looking grenades, the ones that had all the little rough edges on them to cause all the fragments to break off when it blew up. But yeah, they had a barrel full of deactivated grenades that had the pins removed and had the explosives removed, and then they just filled them up with concrete or something like that and sold them to tourists. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But they did have some cool stuff too. I remember they had like functioning night vision goggles. They had all kinds of random stuff there. You kind of just had to like sit. It was one of those stores that you had to sit at and you just had to go through things for a couple hours because it was like a big emporium. It wasn't a building like the size of a Walmart, but it was definitely the size of like a Long's Drugs. Like it was a pretty big surplus store. They had a sign, like a big billboard. With surplus, so let's say, do you buy that from the military? So let's say that you own a surplus store. Do you buy the stuff from the military? Do you buy the surplus? Or does the military run surplus stores like franchises and then they just give out their surplus to people? At least the stuff they can give away. They give it to the people that run the stores that they own. How does that work? I don't think it's a franchising thing. My guess is that the military puts it up for auction or something like that, like you have at estate sales. If you're ever looking for cool stuff, by the way, go to estate sales. I've been to a couple of estate sales over the course of my life, and at one of them, I got a second printing of A Tale of Two Cities. At one of them, like every single time I go to an estate sale, I get something like really, really interesting. Like usually it's literary. Like it's weird the books you find. Also got, other than that, I've got a second printing of... It's dated to like 1895 of some other book, and I can't remember what it is now. It's weird that I can't... Man, this tiny lock is just breaking my balls right now. Is this what you want to do? Is this really how this is going to go down, lock? Alright. Well, the other problem is that when it breaks, it resets you, so you got to figure it out again. See, it's got to be like... Wow, that's an infuriating lock right there. Oh, it's so close. Got it. Oh my god, that was actually... You had to use a lot of... Yay! So we've got, no, our inventory, no, we need to fix this right. We don't have any bullets, by the way, so that's going to be our issue now, is that we have nothing with which to, well, French wrench, sorry, you can go. Brick hammer, you got to go. I'm going to try and only hold on from now on to, like, blue and better weapons, because, frankly, you pick up, if we get desperate, I'll keep the other stuff, but for right now, I don't feel like it dropped it. Was it supposed to drop those? That's weird. I'm pretty sure I pressed... Either way. We've got, oh, we got 15 pistol ammo with it. So the reason why you want to pack a strap in this game is because occasionally you'll get into fights with human beings and nothing, you can hold people up in this game. So they've modified the behavior of the bad guys, where if you have a gun and you hold a gun on them, they'll put their hands up and they'll surrender. So if you're going up against Rice's men, a pistol can be helpful. Just be aware that sometimes they don't surrender and they come straight at you. So it's not a reliable mechanic, but it is a mechanic nonetheless. Let's go on down here. Basically, it's good for an oil change, but not much else. Everybody's got their favorite mechanic. I actually, when I moved back to my hometown, I was a little disappointed because I have a favorite mechanic up in the old place. I used to live up in, like, Kotati, and so Crusader will grab that right there. And I had my favorite mechanic up there. He was a really nice guy. I had a fuel pump go out on my Chevy Cavalier, and so, like, every time I was going to start the car, I had to get somebody in and turn the ignition. I had to get under the back of the car and bang on the fuel tank with my hand, and it would start up eventually. And once the fuel got flowing, it was fine, but it was a nightmare to get that car started. And so I turned it in, and of course, so I had this first guy come out from AAA just because I needed to have my car towed back to my house. I was just like too far away. And so he towed the car back to, I'm not going to break on an easy lock right now. He towed the car back to my house, and I asked him, you know, is there any way to, like, make this work? Because I have to go to work tomorrow. You know, like, I have problems right now. This isn't, I can't necessarily lose my vehicle. Because those of you who live in, like, big cities with, like, transit systems and, like, metros, appreciate it so much, because honestly there's not a whole lot of ways to get around if you don't have a car. At least where I live, cities here tend to be really like spread out and open because people have cars and stuff like that. The downside of that is if you don't have a car or at least a bike, you can't really get around very easily. Every now and again you can catch a bus, but frankly the buses are kind of unreliable. They usually run a little bit late, so I don't tend to rely on buses. I had a bus pass for a little while, but I was disappointed with it, so I stopped riding it. Like, I felt like they were late a lot of the time, and it was hard to, like, plan my work around it. Anyways, back to the story at hand. So he tows it back, and I asked him if there's any way that I can keep the car, like, running. And this dude goes, well, you could fill it up with a full tank of gas, and there's the possibility, did an airdrop just go down over there? You see that? Yep, airdrop just went down. And he said there's the possibility that the weight of the fuel on the fuel pump will force it to, like, keep turning. If it's got enough, like, water weight on it, or liquid weight on it, it might work. And so I said, okay. And so being an idiot, I took his advice, and I filled the entire fuel tank up to, like, maximum, because my fuel was fairly low. I had, like, a little less than a quarter of a tank when this fuel problem, the fuel pump problem started happening. Does this go anywhere? No, I was going to say, that'd be absolutely great if it went somewhere, but nope. It ends great, though. How many puns can we fit into one short period? But anyways, I say that a lot. That's how I transition. I just say, but anyways. Ow! What's a white chest? Like, on the map, that's a thing. Is he getting zapped right now? I don't feel like this is working on him. I wish that it would, though, so we've probably got to figure out... Let's go get the airdrop first. I'll come back for this in just a second. I don't feel like dealing with the big guy anyways. It'll take too long. So I fill the tank up. Sure enough, the next day the fuel pump dies entirely, because if it were for bad luck, I would have no luck at all. There are sewer systems everywhere. I wonder if that's how the fast travel system's going to work later. You just use the fuel... Or, I'm sorry, we use the sewer system. Are they here yet? Did I beat them? Oh, I beat them. Hell yeah, we got there quick. Oh, never mind. It doesn't concern me? I think you better, like, think about the proposition that you're putting forward right now. Yeah. We're going to have to break out a gun on this one. We could fight him, like, perfectly fine, but it's easier just to hold him up. Oh, wow, these guys are tough guys. Yep, tough guys. They came straight at me. That's pretty badass right there, though. I think that firing a gun might have been a bad idea. This may not work out so great for us. Let me reload this thing. What kind of gun is that? It's like a SIG? What is that? It's actually got kind of like a, it looks like a 1911, like slightly modified. Like the hammer looks like a 1911, and the slide looks like a 1911. But it looks a little bit different in terms of like the bottom of the gun. I don't know. Or the bottom of the front of the muzzle, I guess. Looks a little bit different. Claw hammer, brick hammer. I don't really want either of those. I will, however, take everything that you own. I find it strange that I'm working for Rice right now, and neither of these guys... Did they already get it all? Oh man, they already got one of them. But they didn't get the other one, so that'll work out for us. I love the fact that they changed the controls around to make the community happy, because that was a big complaint I heard during the press preview, is that you used to have to use the middle mouse button to go into iron sights, and it was a toggle, it wasn't a hold. Now you just hold right click, and it works just like it does in every other game in known human history. I don't know why they did that, to be honest. I think they were just trying to be a little bit different, but frankly, why change something around if it works, you know? Like, if it works, don't fix something that ain't broke. I mean, hey. Oh, this dude's getting chewed on over here. Hold on. Get out of here. Ooh, he's a big dude, too. He's a big dude, too. You're not momentarily grateful? I'll take the assassin mod. Don't run across the electricity, please. If you run across the electricity, we're gonna have serious problems. Oh, there's two of the big guys back up in here. He's being zapped to shit right now. I don't know if it's actually working, though. Are they gonna die, or are they insulated? I could fight him. It's not that big of a deal. It's just that... Alright, so you get that survival XP you saw pop up at the top of the screen. That's for when he escapes. You get the mod for saving him, and then if he escapes the area without dying, you then get like an extra 300 XP. So with the fuel tank problem, I'm talking about my favorite mechanic here. With the fuel tank problem, they come and they pick up my car, so we tow it out to the mechanic that's in town because obviously I gotta fix this. He says that I gotta drain the tank, but I feel bad because, you know, you're having a hard time right now. I know you're a college student, you don't have a lot of money. So, like, I'll drain the tank for free. Normally, there's, like, an extra charge for that just because it's, like, extra labor. If you've got a full tank, we've got to store the gas. We've got to take it out. It adds an extra step. I don't know if he was being, like, disingenuous about that or if that's, like, a normal thing people charge for. I know nothing about cars, to be honest. And I was like, alright, that's cool. That's cool. Like, something that I don't have to pay for. That makes me happy. And honestly, the price was pretty good for the fuel pump, too. While he was at it, he fixed... I had my gas meter didn't work for a while. You know how you have like the meter in your car that monitors how much gas you have? After the fuel pump went out, that stopped working too. He seemed to allude to the fact that it's all part of the same assembly and that's why it would fix it. Like there's some kind of like machinery included with the fuel pump that includes like the tracking of how much gas you have in your tank. But once again, whoa! Oh, he got me quick with that one. Hey now. Alright. Alright. That's what I get. So he should be done right there. He should... I don't know if that electricity is actually hurting him. It might be. It's hard to tell. I'll let him take a swipe at me. Oh, he can balk. That's cool. Alright. You don't know what a balk is. I mean, people know what the word balk means, but anyways, I use it like in a baseball sense. Balking in baseball is when the pitcher starts to pitch and then stops pitching in the middle. You're not allowed to do that. Once you get to a certain point in your rotation for the throw, you're not allowed to stop anymore. You have to go through with it. I think it was to keep people from like stopping mid-throw and picking off runners left and right. It's kind of like the infield fly rule. It's a rule that purely exists as a technicality because people back in like the 1920s would cheat and would like play the game in kind of like a cheesy way in order to win. So that's why they... Ow, stop zapping me. I hate electricity except for when it powers my air conditioning and my everything in my house and my computer that I'm currently... Okay, I love electricity. I'm lying and I'm full of shit. So we deactivated that. All of Rice's men are dead. That sucks to be you guys. You went to all the effort to put your hair in that awesome mohawk and then died shortly thereafter. Be a little embarrassing. What's in here? It's a hard lock picking. I don't know what a white chest is. I don't know if it's a chest that's like collectible on the map or what it's supposed to be. I don't think I've ever seen this before. These weren't in the press demo. I can tell you that much for sure because we hung out in this area for a long ass time. There it is. What's inside of you? Let me look inside your body, beautiful albino chest. We've got a barbarian mod, hell yeah, and then a brick hammer, not so great. I'll take the barbarian mod though. I love the fact that the mods don't actually cost you anything to put on your weapons, but they're like one-time use. I actually enjoy that feature. I know some people would like it if you could use duct tape and like other resources in order to craft the mods you want. But the situation that I always run into there is that there's always like a limiting reagent. Like for example, there will always be something that's like super, super rare. Whether it's like a fuse or whatever it is you need in order to make. I'm just gonna, hold on. I'm just gonna Molotov these guys. I don't even feel like fighting them all. There we go. I'm feeling lazy today. Feeling very, very, it's one of those Sunday afternoons where I'm just sitting here just kind of, I slept in late. Oh, no, 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 get off me. Get off me. Where did you come from? Oh, he came through the gate. I didn't realize the gate was open. Okay. So for this dungeon, we're going to have to handle the gate first. So let's grab this, and then we push to the side here to get it over. Awesome. So now that we've got it over, we're going to get off the gate, because the gate likes us like that, and we've been friends for a long time. It's time to take our relationship to the next level. I'm going to drop kick this lady here, and see if we can finish her off. And then, where's the fuse box? I'm standing right next to it. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. I love that saying because, seriously, snakes will bite you out here in California. There are, like, big-ass rattlesnakes that are just, like, zero, just zero love given. I almost swore right there. But anyways, they're nasty. To finish the story, he drained the fuel tank, he fixed the pump, and the nice thing was he came and picked me up. The car was going to be done like at 5 in the morning the next day, 6 in the morning. He said we're going to finish it first thing in the morning, and he offered to come pick me up. So he grabbed me and picked me up in his truck from my house, drove me to the mechanic shop, drove me home after they got done fixing my car, or after I checked it in. It was really, really nice. It was a cool thing, like where he didn't have to do that, but he did. Pretty chill guy, and so I made sure I gave him all my business after that because, like, I appreciate little gestures like that. Like the owner of the shop himself, like, driving you home because he knows you don't have a car and he doesn't want you to call a cab and cost yourself more money. I'm going to shove through them, but I think we're about done with this area. Let's see if we should... Yeah, let's go contact the GRE. let's stay on task for right now. I feel like I haven't done... I'm going to try and alternate. Like, so every other episode, we're going to focus, like, purely on storyline, and then on the episodes in between, we'll do a little bit of free roaming and seeing if we can find any goodies around. There's lots of nooks and crannies in this game. Believe me when I say that. They're all over the place. There's lots and lots of goodies. Now that we've made contact with Rice... Are any of these cars open over here? This place, I recall, had a firearm as well in one of the vans or something. There's a light trap over here. Too bad, I need a heavy trap at the moment. This guy buying up all the gas in the neighborhood. Out there hoarding. Then again, I can't really blame him when society's crumbling. It's gonna be a free-for-all. I'd like to think that it wouldn't and that, like, infrastructure would succeed because I'm a big fan of infrastructure and, like, things working the way that they're supposed to. However, every now and again, I see those survival magazines, like, at the supermarket, and they're like, survive and thrive. They're like, get ready to bug out for when it all falls apart. Almost in like a wishful sense. It's almost like in the way that they like hope it's all gonna fall apart just so they can like test out their survival skills. I'm like, I'm not gonna hope that the entire like fabric of humanity and culture falls apart so that I can like test out skills that I read in a book.
Crane.
Report.
Just met Rise. There's no question that's Suleiman. Guy's a psychopath. He's gone from ruthless politician to fucking warlord.
Is he aware of your affiliation with us?
No, he thinks I'm just a guy from the tower. In fact, he's making me jump through hoops before he'll give me any antizin.
Acknowledged. Continue to do as he asks. Remember, we need that file.
Great. Crane out.
I don't know, when it comes to destroying the antizin in the previous episodes, I probably would have stashed it somewhere. In all honesty, I probably would have found a hiding spot for it and left it just in case. Because that's the kind of rainy day person that I am. Like, destroying an entire box of, like, medication that a group of people needs, it just seems like you're taking it a bit too far to force the meeting. Like, you can say that it was destroyed, then go to the meeting, but if something goes wrong back at the tower, you still have the antizin stashed away somewhere where nobody's going to find it. So that you can be like, oh, look, I found another one while I was out scavenging today. Isn't that something? Is this an infection zone over here? Yeah, every now and again there's little dungeons in here that you can go into, like with these doors. And when you actually go inside of them, they'll have like a little instance. That's the only way that I know how to describe it. It's kind of like a self-enclosed PvE encounter, sort of, I guess. And you get a bunch of stuff for them, so it's worth checking the doors in these little overpasses every now and again just to see if there's any around. Yeah, I liked my mechanic. He was a nice guy. And unfortunately, now I'm back in my hometown. I don't really... I mean, I know a couple places that are alright, but I don't, like, know the owner. You know, we don't have a history or whatever. And I like giving my business to somebody that has long-term just, like, taking care of me and, like, not charge me ridiculous prices and gouge me on dumb shit. That stuff will get on your nerves pretty rapidly. Pretty ridiculously rapidly, in fact. I suppose that for right now, we're in a dump right now. I got my flashlight on, too. Ooh, kebabs. I love kebabs. There's a place around where I used to live called Habib's World Famous Kebabs. Everybody just calls it Habib's, though. Habib's Kebabs. It's pretty good. It's amazing. They grill them and they make them right there after you order them. Oh, so good. A little expensive though, but I figure that's because they use steak and other stuff for the materials. But yeah, I love a good kebab every now and again. That is a food with which I am very, very familiar. Well, we need to find the I almost said the telecommunication tower, and that's absolutely wrong. What's this over here? Oh, Rice's Brobos. Oh no. I'm not okay. Did he just clip his own dude? I think he did. Get down. Okay, so he's down. Where's the other one? Where's the other? Oh, he's bugging out. Okay, that's fine. If I don't have to chase down and murder somebody today, that'd be fantastic. Just sort of like limit the body count. Humanity is already dwindling in this location, and I feel like a large waste of human life is just gonna like tap out the gene pool even worse. And you know the only guy that's gonna survive is that one random idiot who was like down in a basement. And so the gene pool just gets thinner and thinner and thinner the more people that die. I prefer to keep it to a minimum, just in case. Just in case. The thing is, if the patrol member escapes, we don't get the extra XP for wiping out one of Rice's patrols. A plain hammer. Not like the best box, but it'll work for right now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it'll work for right now. I mean, I would love to get a couple more bullets for this thing. I'm the kind of person that likes to have at least like 2 reloads. Any gun that I wield in a video game, I prefer to have at least 2 reloads. Otherwise, I keep it in storage and I just like wait till later.
What exactly am I doing?
Radio communication has been pretty spotty in the quarantine. These modulators will help boost the signal so Rise can communicate with outposts at the far reaches of time.
That's a benefit for everyone, not just Rise.
Perhaps. must monitor his empire.
Is that how he refers to himself, as the Emperor? It seems to be packed with a little bit of hubris right there, but still, I'm not going to call him out on it too much. It's unwise to call somebody out on their hubris when you actually, like, need them in order to get your job done. That gas can might blow up. I may have made a mistake right there. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure it's going to blow up. Got one repair left on this thing. I was hoping I could burn all them to death so I could get inside this police wagon. Get all up inside the paddy wagon. We got that over there. All right. How many of you guys are still alive? Yeah, I know you're still moving around now. Oh, we got a power level. Alright, I like power levels. Power levels work for Goku, so they work for me. Let's go ahead. You ever notice how they, like, abandoned the power level system in DBZ once the power creep got too far? They just, like, gave up on it. They were like, I mean, we're past, like, 10 million now. I mean, it's getting pretty raw. It's out there. There's a couple of attacks here that you can get. So there's a power attack. We can go with sturdiness 2, which makes us take even more damage. Just makes our health bar longer. There's a ground pound right here, which is actually a pretty cool ability. What it does is that when you're falling through the air, you hold C, and when you do that, it'll make you drop the hammer on somebody if you have a two-handed weapon. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I'm going to stick with the passives for right now to make sure that at least if we start taking gunfire or anything else goes wrong, that the cumulative fire does not kill us or injure us too badly. You need a melee weapon for this. It adds bleeding to your attacks. I mean, why not? If it adds damage, right? I don't feel like that's too bad of an idea. Yeah, just throw industrial grade leech on there. What does it cost me? A blade, a nail, and a metal part? Yeah, put it on like all my weapons. Might as well. It's already there, and it gives us 7 more damage per swing. That means that like every 5 swings, we're basically getting a free swing, which is... I love the swings. The swings were one of my favorite things on the playground, so if I can get a free one, it sounds good to me. We used to do is we used to swing the swing up as high as we could get it, because this was back when like toys and stuff were dangerous. Nowadays, when you look at swing sets and stuff like that, it seems like they build them with the intent of them not being fun. But anyways, when I was a kid, we had really, really big swing sets. Like, seriously, you could get some real air. And I think it was an urban legend, but everybody used to... Did this happen where you lived? Everybody would talk about that kid that went over the top. I think they made an episode about it in Recess. The kid that went over the top when swinging. And it's just like playing on the fact that every single kid's playground had that story. Like, hey, did you hear? His name was always ridiculous, too. His name was always... You knew it couldn't have been like a real human being. They'd be like, hey, did you hear what happened to Donnie Petrucci? And you'd be like, what happened to Donnie Petrucci? You don't know who Donnie Petrucci is, but you pretended like you did just in case. But like, oh, Donnie went over the top, man. He was on the swing like it was a Vietnam War story. He went over the top, bro. He made it. Nobody ever makes it. But yeah, our swing sets were really, really big when I was a kid. And you could like injure yourself on it very, very badly. What we used to do is we would take it. Where is this lock hiding? It's got to be in here somewhere. No such luck thus far. Oh, man, I'd be more appreciative if it was closer to the top. But it's not. And it's going to have such a low threshold. There it is. Like the amount of... I wish I could show you my hand while I'm trying to do this right now. Because the amount you have to move is so tiny. Like it's really, really small. Like the margin of error is almost non-existent. Classic baseball bat. Don't mind if I do. We can craft another item. We don't need to for right now. But yeah. The swing sets, what we used to do is we'd swing up super high. So you would get your velocity going. And then once you were swinging up super, super high, what you would do after that is you would just like come off the seat and you would swing from the rope by itself on one side like Indiana Jones. In fact, I remember many, many times we would sing the Indiana Jones song as we did it. Now, frequently this backfired. If you had especially greasy hands, if you just had lunch, maybe your palms were sweaty because it gets really, really hot here, like 120 degrees in the summer hot. And so maybe you were just sweaty, but for whatever reason, if you were, sometimes you would slip. If it was a chain link, sometimes you would like slip off of it just because the metal was slippery, and you would just eat shit super hard, and it would, you'd land on your ass on the tan bark or on the gravel or whatever it was, you'd still be okay. What was really bad, though, is in the summer, if you were sweating, your hands would get slick. What the hell was that noise? Oh, he's breaking out of the shack over there. Okay, so what would happen then is if the swing had a rope on both sides instead of a chain, you would get rope burn. Your hand would slip when you went to swing on it. And it would just go zzzz, and your hand would slide all the way down it. And oh, the rope burn. The rope burn. Memories of my childhood. Memories of my... How do I get in there? I'm trying to find this communications tower. Oh, okay. So I had that rectified all wrong. Can you teleport to these? You cannot. Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping that maybe you could fast travel in between the various safe houses. Maybe that's what you do later on once you unlock the sewers. He said they're good for traveling, and the Zeds aren't in the sewers, so it might work. It's feasible. It's definitely feasible. I'm going to try and head to the location of the next objective, so at the beginning of the next episode, at the bare minimum, we can get it started, because I think that'll be pretty cool. I just got... Every now and again, somebody, like, texts me in the middle of an episode, and I just, like, look to make sure it's not an emergency. But nope, it's just actually... All my friends heard about the fact that my channel hit, like, 100K. 100,000 subscribers here at the Nerd Castle, and so I've been getting, like, congratulatory phone calls and texts, and went with my parents out to dinner. They didn't really, like... I get this question all the time. People ask, like, what my family thinks about what I do on YouTube. Like, they're happy for me, and they're really, really stoked that I get to do something I enjoy in life. Because, like, my dad has spent his entire career doing a job that he doesn't necessarily, like, really super like. It just pays a lot of money. And so, you know, he's a roofer. It's a job that needs to get done. People have houses, people need roofs. But it's a hard job. It's a physically strenuous job, and there's nothing enjoyable about roofing. Very, very little. I mean, I guess you get a good suntan. I roofed for a couple years, and it almost broke me. My dad's a stronger man than I am, that's for sure. But anyways... My point here is that, like, I think my parents are super stoked that I have a job that I enjoy and a job that, like, I can earn a living while making people happy and doing something that I'm good at. On the other side, though, I don't think they really, like, get what I do. Like, they sort of, like, they've watched my videos.
I'm at the first antenna.
If the power's not on, you'll have to turn it on. There'll be a switch in the small building at the antenna's base.
Okay. So anyways, I don't think they, like, fully, like, get what, like, Let's Playing is, you know what I mean? Or, like, making gameplay videos is, but they've watched it and they have, like, a rough idea. They're really supportive about it. They're not like, this is dumb, you should go do something else. They're just like, yeah, I mean, if it pays better than your other job, do it for a while. You've still got, like, your college degree, so you can always come back to it later on. I mean, I'll have a big-ass gap in my resume, though, which will be weird. I'm gonna break the episode off right here. Hi, everybody. My name is Splattercat. This is Dying Light. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. We're gonna go up that tower. There are a lot of birds around. It's a little bit terrifying. Anyways, I'll see you next episode. Hi, everybody.